Hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, just like this. All right, so this is part two of my lizard, I guess, custom base. Just one note, if you haven't watched part one, just go ahead and watch part one. If you're trying to do anything like this, just watch the whole thing, because a lot of times I go back and forth, and I'll be, remember something that I should have mentioned earlier, and if you don't watch the whole thing, you're gonna miss some details. So there's another change. I was gonna make the base round like the original base, but I didn't like it, so I'm going for a different concept now. I'll make it more like a square, so it matches like the tunnel thing. The round thing didn't really make much sense, and this part here is going to be kind of the ground. I'm still going to put the stones around it, like that. But I'm going to make it like this. It's a little bit better. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. So another angle. So these pieces, these pieces have been just cutting and doing the texture to match the base, because the base is round. And eventually I'm gonna make it one big piece that I can just remove from this side, and the wall, as you've seen, I can remove from that side with the magnet. So yeah, I'm putting some texture, not as heavy as the stones, because I want it to be more like the ground. But we'll see. It's starting to look more like a base now. And I think the wall, I got just the right height. I want it to be like, when you put the portrait, a little bit higher than the portrait, and it come out good. And then I start doing the rocks, also open up this side, so if you display from that side, you can see it as well. It doesn't block the statue. I mean, it's a big wall, but you don't want to block the whole statue. So I have a lot of leftover pieces, so I may end up using it for the bottom part. Okay, so I'll take another break, and I'm gonna continue to do the back part now. Did this two sides, now I need to do the back to line up to close the square. Okay. All right. So, okay, I made this piece here to just cover that corner. Just put it in there. Once I paint it, it will just blend in with the other stuff. I also finished the back. Uh, um, well, down there. Finish that corner there, and the back. Then what I did, it's not very noticeable, but I did this front section here, I glued together. So I'll take it out so you can see. So this whole piece comes out, and you can see the way I cut it on the bottom. Um, I just use the glue gun and also use the IKEA pencil. It helps me, line up the pieces, make sure it's all good. That part, I use the glue and the pencil. This one, I'm not sure if I need to use the glue. It's working fine like this. And you just put it back, and it fits right there. So as long as you cut it right and the fit is very almost perfect, you should see everything just lock in place. Like this piece here, you just take it out, this piece, and then this whole section comes out, which I may just glue to this part with a magnet so it always lines up right, but I'll do that later. I'm still lining things up, so I don't want to rush and not have the pieces fit properly. And then you put that back and it locks it in place. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna work on the part under this here. Like, I'm just gonna put some rocks, I guess, some blocks under it. We'll see. All right. So, okay, another update. First of all, if you saw me using the small glue gun, you don't want to get one of those. I was only using it because I ran out the sticks and I couldn't use the bigger one. But you want to use the bigger glue gun. Much better for projects like this. So now I'm doing the bottom part, and I decided instead of doing all stone, I'm gonna do something like a opening here, and then put the stones around it. We'll see. It may work, it may not work, but this is the time to try. I also had to cut the round piece of wood for the base, so I can actually fit that in there because I don't want it sticking out too much. The space is getting really big, so I want to kind of control the size of it. I mean, it's still not too big, but I don't want it to get any bigger than this. I also had to cut this side here, and this side's sticking out a little bit, but that's fine because of the wall goes that way anyway. So yeah, that'll be the next step, and then I have to go get some paint to start painting some of the pieces because I have to do several coats of paint. I usually do a base coat of really dark color, usually black or dark brown. I don't know how I'm gonna paint this yet, but I'm gonna need some more paint. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna work on this right now, and then I'll do another update. All right, all right, all right. Well, I cut the pieces. A lot of the smaller pieces that I cut in advance down there, I end up not using it. And this is the risk of doing a lot of stuff ahead of, putting stuff together. Because once you start putting it together, you realize you need different sizes. So I cut a bunch of pieces like this and end up not using them. End up doing like a custom size because it looked better. I also did it inside there, painting a little bit of green, on the back there. You can't even see so dark. And I put this screen in here. So we'll see. Hopefully that will look nice once it's done. And I made those large pieces. I think I'm just gonna do the bottom part, this new part, separate from the top part, and just use some magnets to keep it together. I don't want it to be too big, so when you take like a huge piece. So I think if I just put a magnet on top, and it will be held by the magnet. I mean, this foam is super light, so even a couple of small magnets will hold it in place, and it allows it for a little bit of adjustment too. So, well, yeah, ready for the next step. I'm gonna glue all these pieces together, so they're all gonna be one piece. So I take it out, it comes out all in one piece, and install the magnets at the top. We'll see. Hey, okay. So I glue all these pieces together. As you can see, they're all one piece now. The idea is just to install a couple magnets. So you just slide in there and the magnet will catch it. If you need to take it out, you take it out. Just a couple of tips. When you put all this together, don't put too much glue. Just in case, you need to move them later or break it off and adjust it. Just put enough. I mean, if the stone block, for some reason you ever break it, you just put a little bit of super glue and you'll be back in there. And that's one of the benefits of doing like blocks instead of like a whole piece and just carve. If you ever break, it's gonna be hard to fix it. But the blocks is gonna break where the blocks connect. As long as you don't put too much glue, of course. It shouldn't break like in the middle of the block. And if you break it off, you just take it off, put it in there and glue together and it's back. The other thing I forgot to show you before is how I install the magnets. I put a drop of paint on one of the sections, you can see it here. And then I line up where it needs to go, just like that. And then push it up and you make a mark on the top part, and I know where to install the magnet, so the magnets will line up. The mark here is going to line up with I can't even see down there, but it's going to line up with the other mark. That way I know the magnets are going to be in the right place. Okay, so yeah, I'll put this together. I'm going to install the magnet and then we'll see how it goes. All right, so this is a big update. Well, this is not the final color. I got tired of the pink, so I decided to start spraying the primer, and then check for some defects. Like back here, I had to fill a couple of holes. And I also decided to get rid of this diagonal thing and just create a straight line. It just didn't look right, the diagonal, cut there. And what I just put a light coat of the primer, and what that does, it helps me not just catch the defects, but also see, what's gonna look like, and it'll help me decide the tone. Basically, how dark can I go or how light should I go? So, show this back part. And I like the turns. So much easier to. So going back here, so that part is kind of done. The part that goes in there is the one that I showed you before. I installed the magnets, and I like these magnets because they're really slim and easy to attach here, and they're not so strong because you don't want to use a magnet that's super strong and then you have to almost break it off. As you can see, this one, once you put in there, see, oh, you saw it. You go there easy. And this, I still have to paint this one. I just decided to put one more there. And that's what happens with this video. That's why I tell people to watch the whole thing. Sometimes I do things that I wasn't planning to do. Sometimes I was planning to do something and I change my mind. So stand back. I decided to go like the offset, blocks. I think it will look nicer instead of everything so clean and so even, so straight. This side is kind of straight and basic, but the front I wanted some offset. Same thing with the wall. So it's not all perfect. But yeah, it's starting to look good. Again, this is just the primer coat and just a thin coat of primer. Because it takes a long time to paint. You have to do several light coats. And I decided to do this also. And I'll show you on the next part. They're just pencils. I did some damage to them. And I'm gonna try use them as bars here. See that how that would look. I think it would be better just than the metal mesh there. I mean, I'm gonna keep it there in there, but I want this to be the metal bars that go in there. But yeah, it's getting close to the end. Yeah, I may have to put another little piece back here to cover that corner. I don't know yet. I'll see. Okay. Okay. I put a coat of black spray paint on top of the red primer I had before, just to see how it looks. I usually do a base coat of black anyway when I do those stone blocks. You don't have to cover everything. In all this you see around, it's just pieces that are about to fall off. So after I paint, I get a disposable rubber glove and I rub my hand over it. So there's a piece that's about to break off, it just comes right off before you start putting more coats of paint. It's looking good. Also start testing some colors. That one's too light, the other one is not really dark enough. So see, I may go with a darker gray, really dark gray on this piece, because the dark color gives it like a good contrast against the white coat. So I think it may be better that way. And also start doing a little partial wall here, and that's as high as I'm gonna go, just to have something there. Before, without that, it looked like there's something missing. So I think it's better to have a little piece of the wall still there, so you don't just have a flat piece of stone there. I think it's going to be a better look that way. And it's going to be removable anyway, so if I don't like it, I can take it off, but I kind of prefer like this. And it doesn't really add to the size, because when I look at the tail, it just goes that far anyway, so it's going to be good. So I'm going to put another coat of paint, and I'm going to start making those for over here. I may have to do I cut little plastic pieces, maybe make a little frame around it. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. I'll play around with it. But yeah, we'll see.